Shalom, shalom. Call on Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us all this truth and the spirit and the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai. Real with a quick hit. Alright, through the spirit in transit on the way from the plantation. Yeah, man, just laying back and off a video I made earlier, the live lesson I did on my lunch break earlier, going into reincarnation. You know, just a few more precepts came to mind. I just want to touch upon them real quick. You know, not gonna make it long, just literally 2 precepts. There's so many of them. You know, more gonna come to mind after this, right? But I just want to get this Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. We're gonna read it in the KJV as well as that NLT right there. So it reads, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So there's nothing new that happens under the earth, which further shows you that reincarnation is indeed real. You know, it's obviously biblical, but somebody can say, just because it's biblical don't make it real. Well, it's clearly real. Because what's the saying? The saying happens, is being proclaimed all the time. History repeats itself. What they be saying? If you erase history, then history will repeat itself, and that's been said throughout many generations in creation. All right, that's a known fact that history repeats itself. Now it says right here in the NLT, history merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. So there's nothing new. Everything repeats itself. Everything has been done before. You've had wicked empires before this one. You've had wicked individuals before this one. You had wicked Israelites before this one. You had righteous Israelites before this one. You had an elect Israel before this one. All right? Which is all the same people coming back in the reincarnation. Right? So there's nothing new that takes place under the sun. Absolutely nothing new. All right, nothing under the sun is truly new. It's just the Greek word kainos, which means what? Refreshed. So everything that's under the sun is just refreshed, refurbished, but nothing is actually truly new. Nothing. All right, the Lord is like he's recycling things. You understand? He's recycling things, but everything has been under the sun once, at least. So that once again shows you that, all right, reincarnation is indeed real. It says, which reincarnation is a compound word. Re means again, all right. Incarnation means creation. So you're a recreation, all right. You're a regeneration. Now it says sometimes people say, here is something new, but yes, Lucky. Let me read that again, verse 10. Sometimes people say, here's something new, but actually it is old. Nothing is ever truly new. It had to double down on it, man. And this is coming from the wisest king to ever live under Yahweh Shai, of course, which Yahweh Shai was King Solomon. So it once again, the wisest king to ever live, like I said. All right, because that was Yahweh Shai. This is coming from the wisest king to ever live. Shit, when you read, King Solomon literally prayed to the Lord for wisdom. The Lord said, "What?" He said, well, "Hey, if you want to pray for me, pray to me, ask me anything, and I'll give it to you." King Solomon didn't pray for money or riches or none of that shit, which is why it came, because he didn't pray for that. You know what he prayed for? He prayed for wisdom. All right, King Solomon prayed for wisdom. You understand? Now, let's see. Now, then people be like, well, if that's the case, why don't we remember our past lives? Well, let's read this. We don't remember what happened in the past, and in the future, and in future generations, no one will remember what we are doing now, which that's not true. You know, I don't like how that one say. Let's read the KJV, that one going off. Because everybody going to remember what's going on in this lifetime. All right, because your works in this lifetime is going to, you know, basically be a testament to okay, fuck nigga, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a testament pretty much Like, bear with me. I'm trying to get over these people acting like bitch niggas. There we go. The water you ever smell shy. But it's going to be a testament and a reputation you will have for the rest of eternity. Because this is the last empire before the kingdom. You understand? So let's read that in the KJV. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that come after. All right, with those that shall come after. So you just don't have no remembrance of the former things. All right? No remembrance. Now, what was I going to go to? Let's get one more, then we're going to close this off. Like I said, just a quick hit. Laying backing off the lesson from earlier. Matthew, 19? When the disciples ask you, how was shy, what are we going to get out of this? Slovakia. NLT trash on this one. Let me just read in the KJV, Slovakia. All right, this is Matthew 19:27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? All right, so like the Lord said, hey, if you lose your life, you save it. And if you save your life, you lose it. We ultimately losing our lives. The 12, they lost their lives to try to save it. You understand? They lost their lives to save it. And Peter was like, man, what are we finna get for this, man? We literally gave up everything for this. Like, is we gonna get something? You know what I'm saying? And what did Yahushua say? He said, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration. So you literally have the word reincarnation in here. What is that regeneration? It's the same thing, dickhead. Look into the etymology of both words. Look into the compound breakdown of them. It means the same thing. Incarnation is generation. Generation is incarnation. Re is again. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. So how the hell are we going to follow Yahushua? How are they going to follow Yahushua in a regeneration if reincarnation is not a thing? That doesn't make any sense. Now it says that you which have followed me in the regeneration. So that cuts it, well, that cuts you Christians all the way because y'all don't believe in reincarnation. And it says, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon. So that's talking about when Yahushua is sitting on the throne in the kingdom. All right, the kingdom has been established. The elect, Lord willing, will that number, starting with the 12 and then the rest of the 144, is going to sit on the throne, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Meaning what? We're going to be the judges of the earth. We're going to be the head rulers of our nation. And then that also just represents that Israel is going to be in rulership. All right, we're going to be in rulership. Another precept for that, the precept for this is Revelation 21:12. All right. So it says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses and brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. How the hell are you going to receive these things back if no reincarnation is there? How you gonna get your mother back, your father back, your sisters back, your brothers back? How you gonna get your wives back, your children back if there is no reincarnation? How you gonna get those back? It has to be reincarnation in order for you to get those back. And if not, then you're truly not getting it back. You're just getting a different thing to try to replace it. But if you're really getting this back, then reincarnation has to be in effect. Right? Now it says, just to back it again, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. How the hell is that possible if reincarnation not a thing? So the people that are last on this side is going to be first in the kingdom, but the people who are first on this side they're going to be last in the kingdom? How are the people that are first on this side going to be last in the kingdom when they die on this side? Because they're going to die on this side, right? Because they were first on this side because they never hearkened to the Lord. No. How they going to be last in the kingdom if they're dead and ain't no reincarnation? Because the kingdom is going to be on earth, is it not? That's Matthew, the 6th chapter, the Lord's Prayer. All right? Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So the kingdom will be on earth. So how will the first be last in the kingdom if there's no reincarnation? You see how that doesn't make any damn sense, right? Just to back this point, let's go to that Daniel 12:2. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Now that's going into the individuals who died in the truth and the individuals who were just wicked and perished. And some to everlasting life, those are the ones who died in the truth, those who died in Yahushua, because this Revelation 14:13 goes into our works carry over. Our works carry over after death. You understand? So this goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning of the lesson, right? What you do on this side is going to set your reputation for the rest of eternity. This is the scripture proving that. All right? So those who died in Yahushua, they're going to wake up to everlasting life. They're going to get a new body, etc. They're not going to have to start from square one as a baby again. That's 1 Thessalonians 4. Those who are alive and remain shall be joined to those those who have died in the Lord shall be joined up in heaven with those who are alive and remain. Roughly paraphrasing, 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. Right? And then it says, and some to everlasting life. So that goes in pretty much into resurrection. That's not as much as reincarnation. That's really resurrection. All right? Two different things, similar but very different. Similar but different. All right? Very similar but different. And it says, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. So you got to understand, right? Those who have died. So this is people who died. Those who sleep in the dust. That's what happened when you die. So you die. And you're going to have individuals that are resurrected to everlasting life. And then it says you're going to have individuals that are coming back, that are going to wake up to everlasting shame and contempt. Right? How are they going to wake up to everlasting shame and contempt? Be reincarnated to that if they die on this side. Because ultimately, they're not going to wake up to a new body. Technically they are, but they're going to start from square one. They're going to have to come through the loins of a man. From the loins of a man, all right, through the womb of a woman, all right. They're going to have to be born of a woman again. And then they're going to have to start from being a little baby again. And then for the rest of eternity, they're going to be good if they're Israelites, but they're going to always have that mark upon them, that spiritual mark, like, yeah, that was a 2/3 or just a rebellious nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be on you forever. How is this possible if reincarnation is not a thing? You got to think about this, right? Let's go to Matthew. Let's go back to Matthew. Let's go to the 5th chapter. Let's go to Matthew 5, and we'll get this verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so. So if you break the commandments and you teaching people to break the commandments, now that doesn't mean if you sin, you just going to be put down. If you trying to keep the laws to the best of your abilities, Judges 5:11, then you're good. The Lord's blood is going to cover you. That cloak is going to cover you. But if you willfully sin, like Hebrews 10 goes into, if you willfully do this, I believe it's Hebrews 10:31. If you sin willfully, then there is no cloak for your sin. The Lord will destroy your ass if you willfully sin it. You understand? So, there you go. God damn. Salakia, give me one more. All right, please forgive me. I'm at my location. Yahweh Shemel Shak, the water Shamar Aliyah. I'm on. So let's keep reading. It says, and shall teach men so. Let's start from the top. Whosoever shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. How the hell they going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven if there's no reincarnation? They're going to die, obviously. The wages of sin is death, and if you willfully sin, there's no cloak for your sin. So if there's no cloak for your sin, you're going to die, right? How the hell they going to be least in the kingdom of heaven if there's no reincarnation? How does that make sense? Once again, cut. It says, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. All right? Now, to go back to another point, something else that I was going to go into as well. Damn, what was that I was going to go into? I went into that Matthew 19, went into that Daniel 12, went into that Ecclesiastes 1, went into this Matthew 5. Something else come to my mind. Give me 1 second, Salakia. Damn, I can't think of it. So I'm going to just end the lesson off there. You know, that's all that's on the spirit then. I had some in mind, but I didn't goddamn forgot, so it's all right, you know. But, well, something new just popped in my mind, so why not? This wasn't what I was thinking about, but you got Revelation 12 and 9, Revelation 20 and 3, and Revelation 20 and 7. What do those precepts get into? It says that old serpent called the devil and Satan. Well, as you know, the serpent in the garden, you know, that of course that was a man. But how the hell is somebody now referred to the old serpent if the serpent died in that life eventually? You know, the nigga ain't lived forever. You know what I'm saying? So how? Because it reincarnated. If your spirit can receive it, that serpent represented the sons of the wicked. And that serpent reincarnated, and it wasn't a literal serpent. It was a man, like I said. He represented the sons of the wicked. He reincarnated into Cain. All right. And then you know the whole situation with Cain. The Lord told Cain and Abel, all right, to bring a sacrifice, a righteous sacrifice. And Abel brought a righteous sacrifice, but Cain brought an unrighteous sacrifice. He sacrificed fruits. He sacrificed fruits. That's not a real sacrifice. You understand? So what did the Lord do to Cain? What did the Lord do? The Lord denied Cain's sacrifice, but accepted Abel's. And Cain got jealous, just like the serpent was jealous of Eve and Adam, you know, because the Lord had imparted to them understanding. He had imparted to them, you know, the fact that they are the children of the Most High. All right. He gave them the bread of life ultimately, starting with Adam. He was jealous. That's why he went to the weaker vessel and blew that party up ultimately. Here goes him in the reincarnation as Cain, jealous again, because Abel sacrificed the right way. And what did Cain go and do? He murdered Abel. He went and murdered Abel. The word Cain, let's get that word real quick. Forgot what it meant. I know what it means, but I forgot what it means, if your spirit can receive it. I know what it means, but I forgot what it means. But we finna go into what it means. The word Cain. I think it go into weapon or something like that. No, don't do that to me now. Look at that. So it did say that briefly when I looked into I saw that pop up before I clicked off. So yeah, smith. So it means a smith or a craftsman, to forge, to fashion, a form. When you go down, the secondary meaning for that would mean spear or a weapon maker. So this nigga name literally means to be a weapon maker, a spear. Because he was the first person to actually use something as a weapon to harm another individual. That had not been done before Cain. Cain was the first one to do that, which is why, what did Yahweh Shai say? You of your fathers the devil, and of the lust of your fathers ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning. He was a murderer from the beginning. So how in the world can reincarnation be real? How the hell was he? Because he was talking about the Edomite Romans, if your spirit can receive that. All right, he was talking about them. How the hell can them Romans be murderers from the beginning and they weren't Cain? They weren't literally Cain. That means reincarnation has to be a thing. These are the sons of Cain, the sons of the wicked. He was a murderer from the beginning. He was a spiritual murderer back in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, when he came and beguiled Eve. Then he turned into a carnal, a literal murderer when Cain came on the scene. Crazy work. Showing you reincarnation is real. Point is, what did Cain do? He murdered Abel. The Lord came to Cain about it, and Cain was like, "Am I my brother's keeper? Oh, I don't know where the fuck Abel at." Right? And then what did the Lord do? He marked Cain, and you have a thing called the mark of Cain. And when you go into the history of that, you do some research in the scriptures. What was the mark of Cain? He basically was turned into a leopard. Meaning the Lord plagued him with leprosy. All right, basically stripped him completely of his pigmentation, completely, and that was a curse. That's a disease. That is a disease. All right, and then the Lord told everybody, don't touch Cain, don't fuck with him at all. Basically, because he was like, his judgment is greater. What did the Lord say? He created the wicked for the day of evil. All right, so his judgment is greater. The Lord is long suffering. He lets that judgment, he lets you fill up that rap sheet so when he fuck you up, he can fuck you up bad. All right? So the great fuck up has been coming for a long time. It's been a long time coming, some thousands of years coming, but it's about to come. All right? It's about to happen. All right? It's about to happen indeed. All right? So there you go. And he told the people, don't touch him. I got a greater judgment for that nigga. And he came back in the reincarnation, if your spirit can receive it, as Esau. But this time he was a clean leopard. So that mark of Cain of being completely plagued with leprosy carried all the way to the reincarnation of Esau, if your spirit can receive that. That's why when you have in Revelation 20, Revelation 12, where the Lord said he was a murderer from the beginning, etc., you have that scripture going into that old serpent. Why the hell is the so-called white man being referred to as the old serpent? How you know it's the so-called white man? Well, it's talking about the Roman Empire. When Yahweh Shai mentioned that he was a murderer from the beginning, he was talking about the Roman Empire, the Romans. Who ruled the Roman Empire? The so-called white man. You know that in history. Hell, they always boasting about it, ain't they? How they ruled Greece and Rome. How what they say, society or whatever they say started with Greece. Okay. So there you go. And then in Revelation, both those accounts were talking about the Roman Empire. That's who the dragon was, the Roman Empire. So how is that possible when they weren't literally Cain? I mean, they weren't literally the serpent in the garden. It's because it was reincarnated. They are the reincarnation of that serpent. They are the sons of that serpent. And you come back every 3rd and 4th generation, like the precepts I brought out on that earlier, in the live lesson. You understand? So, yeah, there you go. That's just another thing that came to mind concerning reincarnation. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I'm sure that, other things will come to mind. I'm going to end this lesson off, before more stuff come to mind, because it definitely will. But I'm going to close it giving all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Harachak Wadash, Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught us all the truth and the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And until next time, Abba Babal, Kwame Sharala, Gadol Abadim, Lababal, Gadol, Yahweh Mahar, Wahabathum. And until next time, I would like to say unto you all, Shalom. Almost done. The ministry is almost up. We only got to endure a little more, and eventually we'll have eternal rest. Shalom.